The Healer from the Slums, a tale of prejudice and profound wisdom. Victoria Whitmore, a paralyzed millionaire, scornfully dismissed 12-year-old Daniel Thompson's audacious offer. He could cure her in exchange for her leftover food. "Do you really think I believe some Macumba from a slum kid?" Her voice, sharp as a blade, cut through the mansion's air. For 3 days, Daniel had watched her waste entire plates while he and his starving grandmother, Ruth, lived across the street. He finally gathered the courage to knock. "Ma'am, I wasn't joking," Daniel replied calmly, surprising himself. "I can help you walk again. I just need the food you're throwing away." Victoria let out a cruel laugh. "I've spent $15 million on the best doctors in the world for 8 years. You really think a street urchin like you, who probably can't even read, can do what no neurosurgeon could?" What Victoria didn't know was that Daniel was no ordinary kid. While she saw him with contempt, he, with eyes trained by years of caring for his diabetic grandmother, observed every detail. "You take medicine for back pain every day at 2 in the afternoon," Daniel stated, watching her mockery turn to surprise. 3 white pills and 1 blue one. "And you always complain your legs feel cold, even in the heat. How do you know that?" Victoria whispered, her arrogance wavering. Daniel had meticulously watched her routine, not out of morbid curiosity, but because he recognized symptoms his grandmother had shown before her life-saving surgery, knowledge passed down through generations. "Because I see what your expensive doctors don't want to see," Daniel replied respectfully. "You don't need more medicine. You need someone who understands that sometimes healing doesn't come from where we expect it to." Victoria slammed the door, but Daniel saw a flicker of fear in her eyes. Fear that a poor 12-year-old boy had noticed something all the experts missed: the millionaire's investigation and the healer's legacy. 3 days later, Victoria, unsettled by Daniel's knowledge, investigated him. Daniel Thompson, 12, lived with his grandmother, Ruth, in public housing. Father unknown, mother killed at 5. Private school scholarship, excellent grades, no criminal record. "Typical," Victoria muttered, assuming he was just another poor kid trying to exploit kindness. But something in the report bothered her. Ruth Thompson, 73, former hospital employee, retired due to severe diabetes, with an inexplicable recovery over the past 2 years, clinically undocumented. Victoria dismissed it as bureaucratic error. What knowledge could an old black woman from a public hospital have? Meanwhile, Daniel carefully planned his next move. Victoria's reaction confirmed his suspicion. She wasn't truly paralyzed, not in the way everyone believed. "Grandma," Daniel said to Ruth, "tell me again about the signs of pseudoparalysis." Ruth, a nursing assistant for 40 years, drew her true wisdom from a much older lineage. Her great-grandmother had been a midwife and healer in Mississippi, knowledge passed from mother to daughter. This ancestral wisdom had saved Ruth when doctors gave her 6 months to live from diabetes complications. "Smart boy." Ruth smiled proudly. "You saw what I taught you, didn't you?" Her legs tense when she doesn't realize she's being watched. The muscles respond to emotional stimuli. Daniel nodded. He had observed Victoria's feet moving unconsciously when she yelled at staff, her legs tensing when deeply upset. Imperceptible signs to most, but clear evidence to him. "She's trapped in her own mind," Daniel murmured. "Her body works, but her mind has created the chains." "Exactly," Ruth confirmed. "Psychological trauma manifested as physical paralysis. Rich doctors don't want to treat the mind, only the body. It's easier to give medicine than to heal a wounded soul." That afternoon, Victoria's neurologist, Dr. Hartwell, arrived with new test results. "Victoria, these tests show something peculiar. There is neural activity in areas that should be completely inactive. It's as if her nervous system is functioning perfectly." "What does that mean?" Victoria asked, tense. "It means that neurologically, there is no physical reason for your paralysis. Your paralysis is real, but the cause may be psychosomatic, with the right treatment." Victoria exploded, accusing him of saying she was faking it. She dismissed him, the truth hurting more than any terminal diagnosis. If her paralysis was mental, she had wasted 8 years, hiding behind a self-imposed disability. Worse, a 12-year-old boy had diagnosed in minutes what she had denied for years. The battle for truth and the unraveling of deception. Victoria, consumed by renewed anger, swore Daniel wouldn't humiliate her. She launched a silent campaign to publicly shame him. First, she called his private school, accusing him of trespassing and harassing residents, leading to a stern warning from a principal. Next, she contacted the building superintendent, sparking non-existent noise complaints, threats of fines, and surprise inspections. "She's trying to get us kicked out," Daniel told Ruth. Ruth, seasoned by decades of institutional racism and discrimination, recognized the patterns. "Boy, that woman is afraid," she said calmly. "When rich people are afraid of poor people, it's because they know they've done something wrong. And when they're afraid of the truth, they'll do anything to destroy anyone who can reveal it." Ruth recounted how she faced a white doctor who tried to stop her from working because she knew too much. She observed, learned, documented, and when the time was right, used his own knowledge against him, saving a wealthy patient he couldn't. Victoria isn't just afraid that I can help her, Daniel realized. She's afraid that people will find out she rejected help from someone she considers inferior. "Now you're thinking like a real healer," Ruth smiled. "We don't just heal the body, boy. Sometimes we need to heal the sick soul of an entire society." Daniel meticulously researched Victoria. He discovered she wasn't born rich, but married Harrison Whitmore, heir to a fortune built on slave labor. Her paralysis began the day after she found Harrison was planning to divorce her. He then died under suspicious circumstances 2 years later, leaving his entire fortune to Victoria. His will changed a week before his death. Daniel also found the Thompson family had worked for the Whitmores for generations. His great-great-grandfather was enslaved on their plantation. His great-grandmother was a maid, and Ruth cared for Harrison's mother. Most revealing, Ruth had secretly cured Harrison's mother's terminal cancer with traditional treatments, unknown to the family doctors. "Grandma," Daniel said, "Victoria isn't just physically ill. She's sick with guilt, fear, and shame. Her body is reflecting the prison she has built for her own soul." Ruth nodded. "And now, my grandson, you understand what true healing she needs. It's not just about making her walk again. It's about making her face who she really is and what she's done." Daniel realized his plan wasn't just to heal her, but to force her to confront decades of privilege built on suffering, lies, and crimes. The final confrontation and true justice. The final confrontation and true justice. The final confrontation came on a Sunday morning. Daniel, Ruth, and Dr. Patricia Williams, the neurologist who had secretly treated Harrison's mother, stood at Victoria's front door. "Good morning, Victoria," Daniel said calmly. "Today is the day you're going to walk again." Victoria tried to close the door, but Daniel stopped her. "They'll want to see this, too, especially when they find out who you really are." Ruth stepped forward with an old leather briefcase. Victoria Kowalski, daughter of Polish immigrants, born July 19, 1975, married Harrison Whitmore in 2005, 3 months after discovering he was cheating on her. Victoria's face paled. No one knew her real name. "The accident that left you paralyzed happened exactly 1 day after you discovered Harrison was planning to divorce you," Daniel continued. "Very convenient, don't you think?" Dr. Williams opened a medical file. "I treated Harrison's mother. Ruth here was the one who actually cured her. I kept all the records, including the neurological tests I performed on you after the accident. Your tests always showed normal neural activity, but you paid me very well to keep that a secret, didn't you? $5 million to confirm a non-existent paralysis." Victoria staggered. "You can't prove anything." Daniel pulled out a digital recorder. "I can." Victoria's voice echoed from the device. "Dr. Williams, I need you to stick with the diagnosis. If Harrison finds out I can walk, I'll lose everything in the divorce. Keep confirming the paralysis, and I'll double your fee." "Not just the calls," Ruth added calmly. "Daniel also documented how you can walk when you think no one is watching. 43 videos over 6 months showing you walking around the house, even dancing when you believed you were completely alone." Daniel played the videos. Victoria, screaming, heard her own voice betraying her. "There's more," Daniel said softly. Harrison's medical records. You altered his will while he was sedated after his heart attack. The same Dr. Williams who confirmed your fake paralysis also falsified your husband's death certificates. Dr. Williams hung her head, confessing Victoria blackmailed her. Harrison was poisoned. Ruth stated with authority. Digitalis. It kills slowly, simulates a heart attack, and is almost impossible to detect. Victoria collapsed in her wheelchair. He was going to leave me with nothing. And now, Daniel said, the time has come for the real cure. Get up, Victoria. We know you can. Daniel shouted with an authority that made Victoria jump out her chair, standing up out of pure reflex. Everyone stared silently at the woman who had pretended to be disabled for 8 years, now trembling with rage and fear. Congratulations, Daniel said calmly. You're cured officially. Ruth presented new documents. These reports will be delivered today to the police, the FBI, and the IRS. Insurance fraud, falsification of medical reports, tax evasion, and first-degree murder. We also sent everything to the Washington Post, CNN, and all social media. The story of the fake millionaire paralytic who killed her husband will be national news by tomorrow. Victoria looked around desperately. Police sirens approached. You know what's most ironic? Daniel asked. You'll really be paralyzed now in prison without your millions, without your paid doctors, without anyone to prop up your lies. The real paralysis, Ruth said wisely, has always been in your soul, Victoria. You paralyzed yourself morally so long ago that you forgot how to live with dignity. As the police climbed the stairs, Victoria looked at Daniel with a mixture of hatred and respect. How did a 12-year-old boy manage to destroy my entire life? Very simple, he replied. You completely underestimated someone who grew up knowing that survival requires intelligence, not privilege. And you forgot that sometimes the most powerful remedies come from where we least expect them. The legacy of Daniel Thompson. 6 months later, the mansion, once a symbol of arrogance, housed the Ruth Thompson Community Center, funded by Victoria's confiscated assets. Daniel, now 14, was the youngest student in Harvard's history, studying medicine on a full scholarship. Victoria, who once discarded food, now shared a 2-square-meter cell, serving 25 years for first-degree murder. The trial became a worldwide phenomenon, a stark contrast between a 12-year-old's wisdom and a millionaire's ignorance to a doctor. Patricia Williams, the black male neurologist, now volunteered at the center. Daniel showed me that I spent 40 years looking only at machines, she confessed. I forgot that real medicine begins with observing the whole patient. That boy taught me more in 6 months than I learned in decades of expensive specializations. Dr. Hartwell, who accepted payment for false diagnoses, lost his license and became a pharmacy clerk. A perfect irony. The Riverside Gardens community flourished. Children, once struggling, now dreamed of becoming doctors and scientists. Daniel had proven that intelligence and determination could overcome any system. Victoria did, ironically, develop real leg problems in prison, dependent on a cheap infirmary wheelchair. Daniel visited her once. Why did you come here? She asked. To make sure you understood, he replied. I never wanted to destroy you. I just wanted you to stop trying to destroy us. You were just a child. And you were a wealthy adult with all the resources in the world, who really should have known right from wrong. Victoria finally understood her smallness. Daniel's story became the Daniel Thompson effect, forcing institutions to recognize exceptional intelligence from unexpected places. Programs were created to identify talent in ignored communities. Ruth continued to run the center, training a new generation of healers. Victoria became a criminology case study, a symbol of privilege without character leading to self-destruction. The real lesson, Daniel's story revealed, is not about a boy defeating a cruel woman, but how society ignores wisdom when it doesn't fit preconceptions. Daniel proved that the most powerful healing transforms minds closed by prejudice into hearts open to recognizing greatness in every human being, regardless of color, origin, or socioeconomic status.